Hi, I'm Kat, and this is our daily tarot. The opening card that we have for today is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is associated with Capricorn energy, which is a cardinal earth energy. And something I just want to point out for people who are like, Kat, I don't have any Capricorn in my chart. We all have all the zodiac signs in our chart. It's just a matter of where that energy sits in our natal wheel. So if you imagine that the natal wheel is like a clock and there's 12 different pieces of the clock, every piece of the pie would represent a different zodiac sign. And this wheel turns and is in its set position based on the time of day that you were born. So, for instance, even though I am a Virgo rising and I have a Scorpio sun and a Leo moon, I still have Capricorn in my chart. I don't have any planets in that sign, but Capricorn sits in my 5th house, which means that Capricorn and the energies that happen in Capricorn are going to be affecting that area of my life. Now, the 5th house represents our creativity and matters of the heart and new love affairs and children, things that we create that are of our heart. So the 5th house has that space in our lives no matter what time you were born or when you were born, but you could have different signs sitting in that house. You could have the sign of Aries, which is really playful and very headstrong about things. You could have the sign of Taurus, which is, very earthly and very nurturing because it's ruled by Venus energy. So wherever your Capricorn is sitting, that's where we've been having a really big transformation process happening over the last, I want to say 10, 15 years or so, because Pluto has been sitting in the sign of Capricorn. So what's interesting is that Pluto has been in retrograde since about April, but it's been sitting in the sign of Capricorn since about 2008. So almost 20 years ago, Capricorn moved into this sign, and we've been feeling the effects of having this transformational energy known as Pluto in this area of our natal chart. So the reason why I bring that up is because Capricorn showed up as our beginning card for today, and this is related to our life path, our career path, where we want to go in life, what our ultimate goal is in what we want to attain and accomplish in our life. And we're sitting in this space today, and it isn't surprising to me because we just had Pluto starting to move direct again. It's been, as I said, in retrograde since the end of April. So we've been in this period of review in regard to, the changes and transformations that have happened in our lives, and also where we feel called to change. And it's important to remember that when we change and actually transform, for instance, into a butterfly from a caterpillar, that we can't go back from that change that we are going to be embracing. And so we're feeling this energy today, and we're feeling it really instigated by this friction that's happening with this force that's going on with Aries and the sun in conjunction in Libra, because that's at a 90-degree angle of this energy in Capricorn. So consider that it's kind of like, a tire iron or something that it like literally shifts and cranks things into place. We're experiencing this challenging energy. And yet, while, in our culture, we see challenges as being, some sort of punishment, really in life, we want to be challenged because that's how we grow and that's how we improve and that's how we get better. It's like I play billiards, pool, and I will typically take the more difficult shot because I want to learn how to take that more challenging shot rather than always taking the easy one, because this is how we learn and this is how we get better. So consider that the challenges that are happening in life right now are asking us to level up in a lot of ways in our own lives and how we're being called to respond to this changing shift that's happening all around us. Now, that's a pretty strong energy for the opening card, but I wanted to bring that in because we are experiencing this change in Pluto right now. As far as the energetics of Pluto, it is the farthest reaching planet in our celestial system, so it has the longest orbital path. It has a path of 248 years, so it's roughly in each sign for around 20 years, depending on its retrograde. And it's going to be coming out of you know, Capricorn still in a number of years, so we still are going to be sitting in this energy for quite some time, but we are feeling this change of pace, kind of like a train that's been sitting in the station for a long time, gathering up all of its equipment and things that it needs to go on its next journey. That's where we've been. So the challenge that we're dealing with today is this Four of Cups energy. So we're in a contemplation of some kind of emotional situation. We may have had some changes that came into our lives right now that we're in consideration of, and that we're contemplating, and we're considering if it's good for us or not, and if that's really a path that we want to go down. Now, the thing is, you know, when we can get stuck in those mental webs of contemplation, it can be distracting for us in some ways in regard to where we need to put our practical efforts toward, which is what, you know, this Queen in Pentacles is all about, the practical efforts that we make towards the future that we are trying to work toward. Now, the way that we're going to get through this challenge, interestingly enough, is the Five of Wands. So we have some wands coming in. If you look at the figures in this card, there are 5 people who have a wand, and it looks as if they're either combating each other or they're in some kind of training, right? So consider that this situation that you're in right now, where you're feeling your, you know, seesaw of the mind being pulled in one direction of practical matters that are really based in life, and also this energetic of what ifs, or in the emotional realm. This is telling us that where you put your energy and how you interact with people is really up to you. So fives are all about this decision and choice in a matter, and like, how do you want to deal with the situation? Do you want to deal with the situation as if like the sky is falling and the world is all coming down on you, or do you want to deal with the situation as if it's just a challenge? Like, you're gonna see how, you know, different inputs work out and take place in this situation, and the response that you get from the environment around you. And ultimately it comes down to, is your wish to cooperate, or is it to create some kind of conflict? And this is coming up again because we have these energies of Mars, which is like this call to action in some area of our lives, with the Sun, which is our essential nature and who we are essentially within ourselves. So we have kind of this agitation happening right now, and it really comes down to what you want to bring to the table energetically, because, you know, as an adult, we do get choice over how we want to engage and how we respond. Now, the overall outcome for the day is a card of action. We have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a very active fire energy. It's the most active fire energy of any of the wands, I would actually argue, because the horse in this card is riled up, it's engaged, it's ready for action, it's ready for activity, and that's what we're being called to do. Now, right now, you might still feel a little hesitation, and that makes sense because we still have Mercury in retrograde, and so you might still planning the conversations and working through, you know, the matters that you need to take care of that are practical matters, like, for instance, taxes. But there's some energy, there's this force, and believe me, you will know when to act by the energetics that are going on within your body. It can feel fiery, it can feel bubbly, it can feel engaged, like something is actually engaged and excited and is ready to move forward. And we are being supported by astrological influences to do that, because we've had 6 planets in retrograde when we started this month. We had Mercury, we had Neptune, we had Uranus, we had Saturn, we had Pluto, and we had Jupiter, all retrograde at the beginning of this month. And right now, a lot of planets have already come out of retrograde. So we had Saturn come out of retrograde just yesterday, actually. We had oh my God, oh goodness, Pluto come out of retrograde as well on the 7th. That's a big, slow moving energy. And we're getting ready to have Jupiter come out of retrograde here on the 17th and Mercury come out of retrograde on the 18th, which means that we'll only have 2 more planets that are going to be staying in retrograde through the end of the year, which are namely the influence of Uranus and the influence of Neptune. But then we're also going to have Venus go into retrograde in December. So all of these times that the planets are moving into retrograde are giving us time to process and consider things. And it's kind of like a holding back of energy. So if you've felt stuck over the last couple of months, realize that we've all been dealing with this energy of kind of drawing back before we decide to engage again. And we are about to be encouraged and supported by astrological bodies that are surrounding our planetary system to actually move forward here in the coming weeks and actually progress towards our next goal and our next dream. So consider that the friction is just trying to get you to move, and that sometimes in order for us to move, things have to change and shift underneath our feet. With that, I send you a good wish and many blessings as you go through this change and this shift in life and in season, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Mwah.